Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Rose City for the Portland 100 here at the glorious Portland International Raceway. I am your play-by-play man, James Watson, joined with my producer, Jesse Rasimas. Obviously, tonight is going to be a bit of a different show with Matthew Weeks on vacation and me currently on the way home from our exciting visit to the Sim Gaming Expo. But enough about that. Qualifications have finished, so now it's time to bring you your starting lineup. Your pole sitter, to the surprise of no one, Ethan Stanley at a 114.043. Tyler Fody joins him on the outside front row, or I suppose the inside front row. Caleb Pecumer and Tommy Ryan are row 2. Austin Inabnet in the 60 and William White in the 43 on row 3. Ty McIntosh and JP Phillips take up row 4. Dylan Javier and Chad Frankenfield round out the top 10. Cale Pocock and Alate Norgard is the first page. Gerald Campbell in the 31 and Cody McCorkle in the 2 on row 7. Justin Vandermarl and Joe Francis on row 8. Jeff Ryan and Seth Rawls, row 9. Harrison Talon, Jane Rasimas round out the top 20. Mitch Javier, Gavin Higgins, row 11. Row 12 features Dave Carpenter and Dusty Dorr. And then rounding out the field is Sam Boutwell in the 47 and Dave Huckleberry in the 52 on row 13. Rob Mooney and Nico Garcia, row 14. And rounding out the field, Shane Tyrion and Kurt Gibson. Your 30 starters for tonight's event here at Portland. See, looks like Harrison Talon electing to start from the pits, hoping to avoid the probably likely calamity at turn 1. Of course, the chicane here at Portland, that turn 1 chicane has seen a lot of incidents, both real life and virtual. I don't think any of us will forget Richie Hearn flying through the air as everyone was heading into this turn 1 chicane.
Maryville Cross, then.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of action here today. I'm hoping it's a lot of the good kind of action where we get some decent side-by-side racing and some nice overtakes going on. One thing I did notice, just running a little bit of laps of practice myself, is these right-handers for some reason are really, really loose. It seems like you can't get the pedal down all the way coming on the right-handers to the straights. So probably something to keep an eye out around these right-handers is guys just breaking traction on the rear end.
Yeah, as we see them making their way onto the front straight, the pace car will make that hard right-hand turn onto pit road. Ethan Stanley will lead us to the restart zone. And green means go. We're underway from Portland. Now we are. Wow, that came out a lot later than I was expecting. Now we're underway, and a massive jump from Tyler Fody. We got someone making it. Oh, some late dives. Fody trying to hang on to the inside of Stanley, but now he's going to be on the outside as we get into turn 3 and 4. See a lot of 3-wide action in the back. Stanley going to clear as we get through the right-hand sweepers here through turn 3, 4, 5, etc. Here's one of the better passing opportunities at this track. Look at all that wide space, plenty of room to dive bomb. Fody not close enough to consider that dive bomb as Stanley holds a nice 32 truck length gap. So far, Caleb Percumer doing a good job holding on to third. They go through the chicane before the final corner. Nice little right-hander as it leads back onto the front stretch, the drag strip front stretch, and Ethan Stanley gonna Okay, that's a bit of a connection issue, but looks like we are back, and Stanley continues to hold off Tyler Fode. They're starting to pull away bit by bit from Caleb Percumer. Caleb still holding on to third place. Tommy Ryan trying to hold off William White. That 43 is starting to really heat up the rear tailgate of that 66 truck. So far, nothing too crazy there towards the back. A lot of single file strung out racing so far. Well, here we go. Here comes Chad looking to go side by side through the chicane. He will back. Oh, someone's going off in the back, hard into the wall. Gerald Campbell finds the guardrail on the back straightaway. That is some significant right side or left side damage, rather.
I think that's what I might have been talking about. He just cut loose on that right-hander.
See.
Yep.
Yeah, wow. Big side just tries to gather and overcorrects into the guardrail.
Looks like we have a couple of them actually that are popping up here. So it looks like Dusty Dewar might have done the same thing.
Oh, yeah, you see the 32 already gets sideways. Oh, and he spins to the inside. Yeah, oh, man. Everyone doing a fantastic. Oh, my Lord. I don't know who that was that came in at the end, but oh, Destiny nearly got wiped out, but that's some great recognitions. Oh, Nico Garcia slowing up, trying to avoid running over Mitchell Javier, and whoever it was right behind him was just unable to check up themselves and clobbers into the rear of the 81. Thankfully, we do have that stage caution coming up at lap 12.
And then this was after he did on the backstretch. Lost it going into one.
Yeah, that one looks like it might have been an extra. I don't know if it's a poorly timed downshift, an extra downshift, or what, but that looked like the drive line making the rear of that 32 truck kick out. We're already on lap 4. Stanley and Fode continue the lead. So far, no real change up front in the top 10. Everyone's still running where they were before we stepped away to check up all the different trucks. So, and someone mowing the lawn on the inside of 3 and 4. It looks like Jesse Rasimas got the curb, and
no, this is a different section. Yeah, so the SDK is pulling up a couple of things here, telling me when guys are going off track. So I must have just missed that one that you were referring to when we were looking at Gerald there for a second.
No, that was the one I saw.
All right.
When I was talking about Gerald, I just seen Jaden go through the grass. So far, Fode doing a good job holding on to Stanley. If there's anyone that can keep up with the 91 on a road course, it's going to be Tyler Fode.
Yeah, Ethan Stanley really has these road courses figured out in all of our series. It's so tough to compete against him on a road course at this point in time. So I definitely foresee him definitely being in the top 3 for sure, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes. I don't know if Fody's going to have him in the long run or not, though, unfortunately, unless Stanley cooks his tires.
Yeah, or in the case of the Belly Up Cup Series at Red Bull Ring, his internet holds up and doesn't drop his package 3 times.
Yeah, so that was actually a computer issue from what I understand. He had a little bit of an overheating problem that he did get resolved.
Really interesting. Well, thankfully for his sake, everything seems to be in order, and unfortunately for anyone else trying to beat that 91, yeah, that might be the only thing that can beat Ethan Stanley on a road course, as we see side by side Dylan Javier getting by Phillips. Move Dylan up into P9. JP Phillips has dropped a couple positions since we last kind of looked at the leaderboard. He was P8 a second ago. It's like tire wear starting to maybe affect that 34 truck. Now he's got Lake Norgard not that far behind. Norgard already up a decent amount of positions. Knocking on the door of that top 10. Got Cale Pocock right behind him, having a good run. And then it's like he had issues for Kurt Gibson. Doesn't look like it shows he's already out. Did Kurt even take the green?
He did not, according to timing and scoring. It says that he didn't complete a lap.
Interesting. It's like Kurt elected to call it a night really early. Stanley's starting you called it, Jesse. Stanley is starting to pull that gap almost a second and a half over Tyler Bodie.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here on the selection of pit stops, but if Stanley can keep control of his rear tires and not spin them too much, I foresee him having a pretty decent gap here at the end of the race.
Absolutely. See our race leaders get by Rob Mooney. Rob, really not a road course guy, so he's just doing his best to just bring that truck home in one piece. So far, so good for Rob.
Yeah, it looks like Shane Therian, he's actually up 10 positions here from where he started, so he's had a pretty decent run, gained a lot of spots here in the opening 7 laps so far, so I see him coming up the field pretty quick towards the end of this race as well.
Yeah, frankly awful qualifying effort for Shane's standards. Really expected him to be a lot closer to the front, but it was a nightmare qualifying session for him, putting him on the last row of the grid. But so far, great recovery drive, as you said, making up a bunch of spots, and still have that stage caution coming up here in a couple laps, which means the field's going to be bunched up, and he's going to have an opportunity to pick up more as we're on board with the 47 to Sam Boutwell. Sam carrying a little too much speed through the chicane. Oh, no! Whoa!
Right in front
Whoa!
of Jaden.
Couple close calls for Sam. Oh man, just barely missed the tire barrier and then looped it, and Jane Rasimas just barely missed him, like you pointed out, Jesse.
Yeah, you're going to see that a lot tonight. Just from, like I said, the little bit that I tried practicing, it was very, very loose on the right-handers for some reason, which is kind of awkward for a road course. Usually if you're loose both directions, usually not one way or the other. So I'm wondering if there's a little bit of a miss on the setup here, or if it was just designed that way. It very well could have been.
Yeah, that's very, very problematic considering this track is mostly made up of right-handers, which means everyone's going to be struggling on practically every corner here.
See
But
Stanley
yeah,
kicking up
and
some
you'll
dirt through that corner
probably...
too.
Yeah, absolutely. Thankfully, there's not a whole lot of gravel traps around here, so you don't have to worry about the racetrack being turned into a quarry, but little bits of grass can kind of trip you up if it's brought up. But yeah, I feel like the near miss for Sam, that won't be the only time we'll see that last section with the chicane and the right hander. That's a tough set of corners because it's not always the easiest to tell how much speed you're carrying through there. And if you're not careful, it's really easy to carry too much, and as you saw, just slide right off. You have that kind of access road that's right there in the middle from the exit of the chicane leading into the final right hander. So you can use it as a bit of a saving grace, but even still, if you're carrying too much speed, you're still probably going to slide off into the grass. The grass just pulls you up to that tire barrier. Sam at a near miss. We see some pit stops. Got a few drivers trying to flip the stage. See 15 bringing it in.
Yeah, so this is one of those rare places where the end of the stage here at lap 12, we will throw a caution. It only applies on road courses, so a couple of these guys trying to beat the stage caution here and hopefully shift their positions to be more up in the front for the next stage start.
Absolutely. If you care more about the race win than the stage win, and heck it, flip it, toss those stage points away, but hopefully set yourself up for a much better opportunity to try and get that race win, get that track position. This isn't the easiest place to pass. It feels like at times, really just turn one seems to be the best passing spot. Now, to me, in my opinion, at least for stock cars, the right-hander leading onto the back straightaway, it seems like it's a bit easier to try to send a move through there in a stock car than the Indy car, just because you have that fail-safe of being able to actually make side-by-side contact without running much risk of completely damaging your machine. But even still, it's passing. You're gonna have to work for it to pull your moves off. We see Ryan and an Abnett battling. It's like William White in the middle of this battle as well. It's like I'm not sure if it's quite updated on the timing table. I believe Austin is now up into P4 after getting by Tommy. And William White has just dropped down to P6. As we are on the last lap of the stage, lap 12.
Yeah, and Ethan here in the last couple laps is pretty much checked out. I mean, that gap's up to 2.8 seconds now at this point. So, yeah, he's definitely taking care of his stuff and still running some pretty quick times at the same time.
That he is, and it's like I made a bit of a mistake trying to read some of the numbers. Tommy is about right behind Caleb Humer. Yeah, they're battling for P3, so no issues with the timing tower, but issues for Caleb Humer trying to hold these guys off. Jeff is right behind him all over the 59 trying to get that one extra stage point. He's going to have just 2 more opportunities to try to get this pass done. Tommy not able to send it.
Caution's
While
out.
your stage winner is going to be Ethan Stanley, and there's the caution.
Yeah, but kind of untimely that the way that the yellow flag flies. So it's not like traditional NASCAR where it waits until the top 10 cross the line. It's as soon as a leader hits the line at the end of it, they throw the yellow. So unfortunately, if you're in a battle before you hit that start-finish line, wherever you end up when a yellow is thrown is where you're going to get shoved in line here. So A little unfortunate timing for those guys that were running there for third, but we'll see what happens here at the next stage, and they might be able to gain a couple of spots here or there on pit road as well, depending on how other crews do.
Yeah, the caution is thrown immediately as the stage winner crosses the line to make sure we get the pace car out ASAP, because if there's any bit of delay, more than likely they're going to make everyone do one extra pace lap to catch up to the pace car. So doing it that way helps shorten and streamline the road course caution process and gets us back racing sooner. But I think we're going to take an opportunity, take a break, take a breath, and we will be back shortly.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Since 2010, race fans have had one burning question. When will the Xfinity Series return to Worldwide Technology Raceway? You asked, NASCAR delivered. On Saturday, September 6, 2025, the magic is back. The track that launched the legendary careers of Harvick, Busch, Keselowski, Edwards, and Earnhardt Jr. is now ready to write that next chapter. We're going to introduce you to a new crop of future champions and Hall of Famers. And in the process, we'll create more of the greatest moments in racing history. NASCAR Weekend 2025, the NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs, the Confluence Music Festival, and now 250 miles of the NASCAR Xfinity Series. 2 incredible races, 1 challenging track, a 3-day party of epic proportions. Go to www.raceway.com and lock in your weekend racing and camping packages for as little as $20 down.
And welcome back to Portland. We are under pacing, of course, and see Justin Vandermeer has completely stayed out on the racetrack. He has not brought the 54 down pit road at all. And Chad and Seth Rawls, as you saw, flipped the stage, so they're going to be restarting second and third. And our pole sitter and stage winner, Ethan Stanley, is going to be restarting this race from fourth position. The lights are still out on the pace car, so coming to 1 to green.
Yeah, but we have a couple seconds here. I'll just bring up the points. We could talk about that for a little bit while we're still under caution here. So, leading off the points here, you still have Trey Eidson, Ethan Stanley, Shane Therian, William White. There's only 20 points separating those guys, so your top 4 battles pretty tight. But looking through the rest of the lineup here, I mean, you got Ty McIntosh, Gerald Campbell in 6th, Nico Garcia in 7th. As a rookie, that's pretty impressive there. I'm pretty sure, yeah, he is leading the rookie standings as well. I'll pull those up here in a minute. But Tommy Ryan, Seth Rawls, and Gavin Higgins rounding out your top 10. And taking a look at our rookie standings, obviously, as I stated, we have Nico Garcia. You got Ricky Harden, who's roughly, 31 points behind. So actually, I didn't see if Ricky Harden was even here today. Actually, it doesn't look like many of the rookies are here today, so except Kurt, who didn't even make a lap, so I don't even know if he'll be counted for this race or not. So looks like Nico's in a pretty good shape for this.
And not just that, Jesse, our points leader is not here. Trey Eidson is not here, nor is Gavin Higgins. So that alone is going to be some massive changes to the points, as we might be getting the new points leader here.
Gavin Higgins is here. He's P19 right now.
Huh. So he is. I think I would have remembered that since I was the one who rattled off the starting grid earlier.
That's all right. You're in travels. It's hard for you to see everything and remember everything. You got a bunch of other stuff going on.
Yeah, on top of the fact that I am running on 10 hours of sleep in the last 4 or 5 days total.
Yeah, that's rough.
Anyways, we are finally making our way down the back straightaway. This is going to be interesting. Stanley is going to have his work cut out for him. He's going to be kind of trapped off at all sides here. So it's going to take him at least a minute to try to make it through these cars that have flipped the stage or completely stayed out in the case of Justin Vandermarl.
Yeah, the biggest thing to keep in mind for these guys here that are starting a couple rows back, they cannot make any movement out of line before the start-finish line. So person in front of you missed your shift. I mean, you could take evasive action, but you're not allowed to pass before that start-finish line.
That is very interesting, and that's going to change things up as Justin Vandermarl brings us to the restart zone, and green means go. We're back underway at Portland. And already here comes Stanley trying to send it. Whoa, a lot of big moves and big dives going down into turn one. Vandermarl and Chad going to be side by side. Chad not able to hang on to the outside of the 54. We got one truck cutting the chicane. As Vandermarl continues to try to hold off Rankenfield is now. Here comes Ethan Stanley. He's already arrived on the scene. Now Chad has to look out the windshield and the mirror. Vandermarl doing a good job of holding on to the lead with those older tires. Trying to put a little bit of a gap as you see Fody and Tommy Ryan side by side going down the back straightaway. Which of course is not a straightaway at all. Look at all of this curvature right here. Ryan and Fody continue to go side by side through the chicane. Fody backs out. Stanley all over the rear of that 15 truck. And for the first time basically all season, we can get full clarity and understanding of the number on Chad's truck is no longer the 1 or the 5, is back to 15. Is the 15 looking to the outside of the 54 trying to hold on. He's gonna
no.
Vandermarl shuts the door. Vandermarl spinning off into the grass. Oh, that strategy was working great until it wasn't. And it's just for Ethan Stanley. He's fallen down the order.
See if
what happened to Ethan Stanley is
roll this back
go on,
here.
Jesse.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll it back here because it didn't pop up anything. It looks like he just went a little wide on his own. Caught the grass here, yeah. Caught the grass, got a little out of shape, but really good job hanging on to that truck, and I'm sure he'll rally back up to the front here in no time.
Yeah, it looks like Chad gave him room, so Chad is in fact innocent this time.
Very rare we say that, but no. But
we need to make your graphic.
Yeah, Chad's an aggressive driver, but he generally tries to run you as clean as possible, and just unfortunate the way his decision making is sometimes. It's not always the best time to be aggressive, and that's usually where we have the issues.
Insert Zach Evans rant here. And so far, he's holding on to that top spot. Got half a second back to Fody.
Seth seems to be having a little more of a struggle here, keeping up with the pace in the top group, but he seemed to struggle a little bit in practice and qualifying as well. So usually he's right around like the 10th to 15th place, but he's I believe he started 18th or 19th, and it seemed like he was struggling a little bit trying to work his way up through the field. So flipping a stage was probably his best option to try to stay where he is and get some track position. But we'll see how he ends up here towards the end of the race. We still got a lot of laps left here.
And honestly, he's hanging off pretty good. He's got good control of that last spot in the top 5. Obviously, we saw tying all over the back of the 25, but Seth is doing a good job holding him off. Ty McIntosh having a great run. He only bought this track today, and he's already on the verge of putting it into the top 5 after qualifying an impressive P7.
Yeah, I anticipate Fody's going to get around Chad pretty quick here. Just looking at the lap times that have been popping up on the screen.
Yeah, you saw Fody get a little loose, though, into the braking zone. Brooke was not happy when he started to apply the brakes. Tommy Ryan doing a good job holding off Ethan Stanley. But you do wonder if Stanley may be taking it a bit easy, knowing how close he is to our race leader right now.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to check fuel numbers.
Here we go.
So,
sorry to interrupt you, Jesse,
yeah,
but we got a battle for the lead. Fody trying to make his way to the inside of Chad, but Chad is going to do a great job holding him off. As now here comes Stanley looking to the inside of Ryan. Tommy, and looks like Tommy makes the business decision, and right on through goes the 91 Ethan Stanley. It's a whole lot of trucks that you don't want to see in your mirror if you're Chad Brakenfield.
Yeah, these four right here, definitely the top times and top caliber drivers at Portland race so far. It seems like they're the only ones. Oh, actually, let me retract that statement. So a little bit further back in the pack, Dylan Javier is actually running very, very similar lap times as the leaders. They're all running like 1:15, 6.7s. Either Stanley is popping down in the 15.2s, but for the most part, he's right around the same times as those top 4. So if you get around these trucks, I think we're gonna have a 5-truck breakaway towards the end of the race, as long as nothing catastrophic happens where we have to throw another yellow.
Yeah, those are some good laps. As you saw McIntosh making the move on Seth Rawls going into turn 1, and he will complete it and move Ty into the top 5. And as you saw while we were talking, JP Phillips going a little wide in the final corner, and just like Boutwell, he was just barely able to keep it out of that tire barrier. I tell you, though,
Fody and Chad make contact.
Another oh no! Oh, big contact! Battle for the lead turns bad. Chad gets half turned, excuse me.
Take a look at this from overhead in a second.
Yeah, you saw that right-hander lead onto the back straightaway. I mentioned it's a good area to try to send a dive bomb. Fody sent it. I'm not entirely sure how race control's going to rule that. He was kind of there, kind of wasn't. It was a late move, but he got mostly there. I'm not sure what to make of that one, honestly.
Yeah, so in this
It
particular
was definitely a
series,
spend.
yeah, in this particular series, there's not going to be any sort of penalties, unless the contact resulted in like a severe damage where there was a broken wheel or something that would affect your major time on track. That seemed like a very, very light bump. It kind of seemed like Chad kind of left the line there, and maybe Fody caught the curb a little bit, and it kind of just pushed him into him. So I don't anticipate any penalties from that, but I'm also not race control. I'm just making an assumption here.
Well, I'm sure there was significant damage to Chad's feelings, so I don't know if race control will take that into consideration.
Yeah, there was definitely
But
some hard racing. It seemed like they were trying to give each other a little bit of room, and might have just been a slight miscue on one truck or the other.
yeah, but we continue on as now the lead battle from stage one continues, but reverse. Now it's Fody trying to hold off Ethan Stanley, with Tommy Ryan lurking. While you got a glimpse of the fabled Gavin Higgins that, again, it is in fact in this race, contrary to what I thought for a quick second. Stanley with a set of...
Oof. Almost a similar thing that his teammate there, Fody, did a little bit earlier with Chad. It's just no contact was made there. I think Stanley got on the binders a little bit just to keep off of them. So this lap truck, I don't think is going to cause any major issues. So we'll let these guys battle out for the next lap and see what goes on here as we get down to the straightaway. Maybe Ethan could take a run into turn one.
Yeah, Rob Mooney doing another good job staying out of the way of the race leaders do their thing. And they do their thing, they are as... Yes, I was expecting a % from Stanley, but he stays behind the 40, just chilling for now. Just driving there menacingly.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of the
Oh,
teammate
looks
on
like
teammate.
JP Phillips. Sorry to interrupt you, Jesse, but it looks like JP Phillips is bringing it down pit road.
That he is. I didn't see any incidents pop up on the screen, so I'm wondering if this is a fuel situation. I was trying to say before, I didn't get a chance to get any fuel numbers, so I don't know if they could actually make it to the end of this race or not without one more stop.
Yeah, it does bring up some questions because he didn't really stay out. I believe he pitted with everyone else at the end of the stage. So seeing him the first to pit, it does make you wonder about where everyone else is at as the lead battle continues. Once again, we are on board with your pole sitter and your stage one winner, Nathan Stanley, trying to take back the lead of this race. And once again, not close enough for the send on Fody.
So I did notice Ethan Stanley is backing off a lot earlier into the corners than Tyler Fody is, so I don't know if that's part of his plan, to kind of preserve his tires, just to get a bit easier on the entries and exits, but you could definitely see that Fody's pulling away on corner entry, and mid to exit, but Ethan Stanley's catching up to him pretty... Oh, there's a send. And he got it.
Oh, not quite. Oh, they are going to be side by side. Stanley taking all that curve on the inside of the back straightaway. Stanley edging ahead, and looks like Naomi will get that move done. Ethan Stanley takes back the lead of this race. And we'll see if that lifting coast will continue. It's a strategy to have, Coach Jesse. It's like you said, it helps you save time, fuel, and it helps you save your car because of the fact that you're not pushing 10 tenths into that braking zone. You're able to be a little safer and a little more consistent. and that's something that definitely goes away quickly as the run goes on and as those front tires wear and the your braking performance. If you're just focusing on lifting and coasting, you really don't have to worry about those late run mistakes creeping up nearly as bad.
Yeah, for sure. It was just something I noticed when we went on board with him, that he was kind of floating it into the corner and being a lot easier on the throttle on like mid out. So on the longer run, that is 100% going to save his tires, and that's probably what's going to create his gap here towards the end of the race. So you can already see he's pulled out almost a second over Tyler Fode since he made that pass about a lap and a half ago. So he's definitely has more tire than Tyler does at this point, and I foresee him having a lot more tire at the end of the race than everybody else on the track.
Absolutely. Like you said, you're already starting to see it. He's already starting to stretch the gap a little bit as they encounter the lap truck of Mitchell Veer.
Who's also a teammate to these guys too. So
Stanley able to, I feel like almost half the series is team.
So I think our team rules are a little more lax than the truck. I don't think there's a maximum number. I could be wrong. I do know that there are a lot more team vehicles in the truck series compared to the other series that we run though.
The army building happens in the truck series. As Stanley continues to lead. Chad doing a good job hanging on to P4, even with those warmer tires from the half spin with Fode. He's still doing a good job holding off McIntosh. And William White's starting to make his way back on the scene as well, as we are past the halfway point here in the Rose City. 24 laps to go at PIR. Chad sending it to the inside of Mitchell Veer. Mitch doing a great job acquiescing to the lead lap trucks as they continue this three-way battle for P4.
Yeah, it looks like our closest battle on track right now would be between this group right here. You got Jeff Rime, Caleb Pacuber, and Austin Anamnet all fighting for P15 right now. So everyone else is kind of strung out. This is going to be our closest battle. Oh, as Jeff Ryan gets a little bit loose and goes through the grass.
Oh, no! Oh, harrowing moment for Jeff Ryan, like having to cut a quarter, but he holds on to it. But that's a hefty slowdown he's got. That kind of eliminates him from this battle for at least this moment in time.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's the definition right there of the ERN curse. Seems like every time you talk about somebody on track, something ends up happening. So,
especially when I'm involved.
Looks like Vanderbarl had an issue here.
VDM on the old tires.
Oh,
still
no.
circulating the racetrack. Oh no! Oh no! Hard into the pit lane barrels. Oh, absolutely kills the pit attenuator and the front of that 54 truck.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That was
we'll never see how that strategy. Oh yeah, that truck was DOA, and we unfortunately are not going to see how that strategy works out. And meanwhile, as you saw, Navbit had himself a little bit of a moment through the turn one chicane and had to take a little bit of shortcut.
Yeah, so it looks like,
you know, Jesse, with the tires, go on.
Yeah, I was just saying, it looks like Ty and William are actually catching Chad here a little bit. So this one,
someone's going around in the back.
I can't catch that one. Let's see. Yeah, I have no registrations of anything, so.
Yeah, I couldn't quite tell who it was.
I wonder if it was Sam, because he has a slowdown penalty right now. Let's just rewind this, see what we got. No. So it was coming out of the last turn, I believe, right? Let's just look here. I wish I could control the camera a little bit more. Yeah, I missed it.
Yeah. Well, that's the unfortunate thing, especially at the road courses. Sometimes the cameras don't always catch all of the action for us, but we press on, and this pack presses on as well. See Shane Tyrion pitting from P10.
There's got to be a fuel number they can't get. Yeah, it's definitely got to be a fuel thing. Looks like Nico Garcia also on the same strategy as well.
Yeah, and this doesn't surprise me. 39 laps gonna be a tough ask here at Portland. So I see wonder around when we do see that next stop. I imagine the 15 will be one of the next ones to pit, since he has a little less extra fuel on board than the trucks around him.
Yeah, so he should have 3 laps less than the rest of the field if he short pitted that one. I believe pit road closed at lap 9. I could be wrong. Or actually, yeah, I could check. So yeah, Chad's last pit stop was on lap 9. Same thing with Seth. So they should be the first 2 trucks that are coming in here, I would assume pretty shortly, if everyone else is starting to make their stops right now.
Yeah, saw a couple trucks in recently. I believe JP Phillips and Sam Boutwell are among those that brought it down.
Yeah, so JP Phillips last pitted. Yeah, he pitted on 23. So looks like there was a couple of guys pitted 27. It's really hard looking through the scoreboard right now, but it's definitely. So yeah, Shane Therian and Nico Garcia were the last ones to stop at lap 30. So there's definitely, as we say it, here comes Chad.
Yep, called it. We knew he was going to be in earlier than the rest of them.
Seth actually stayed out, so.
Have 19 laps left when he pulls off the road. Interesting. Seth doing a nice job plugging away in P.
We take a look here. I mean, Stanley's pulled out to 3.3 second gap, so he's definitely on pace to take this over, unless, like James mentioned earlier, he has some type of internet or PC issue. But he seems to think that he has all that resolved, so I kind of expect that, barring any major circumstances, he's taking the checker here later on in 18 laps or so.
Be very surprised if that happened either.
So William White is making a pit stop here. Up, and here comes Seth behind him.
Looks like he's Sir White and Brawl on pit road, making their final stops of the race.
Ooh, was that Sam back there? I think it was. Yep. Sam just had a slight incident there as we were looking down the end of pit road. Oh, actually, this is earlier in the lap here, but so it looks like he might have had 2 issues. Oh, that kind of just looks like a loss of focus on that one. But coming down through here,
Raceway.
I think he went off here as well. Nah, maybe I seen that wrong.
Yeah, the curve back straightaway. It's back straightaway, but it sure ain't straight. But it isn't as curved as Sam thought there for that brief moment. As we continue to watch our race leader, wondering when we're going to see the 91 in for the final time tonight.
So just based off of some of the other numbers that I was seeing, so Seth pitted at 33. His lap previous he pitted at 9. The short pit that one, so 25 laps or so, I would say. And Ethan Stanley last pitted at the yellow, which was on 13. So if it is a fuel number thing and guys can't make it to the end, I would anticipate within the next 3 or 4 laps, Stanley's coming in for his final stop.
Wager, you're probably going to be right about that. Stanley going to have a front row seat of the battle between the 2 and 34.
This 34 is off, I believe. Yep.
Oh, he is way off. David Phillips JP Phillips, Juan Phillips, brother, almost lost trying to find his way back onto the track. Definitely makes things a lot easier now for our race leader trying to bring it in. Speaking of bringing it in, Caleb Humer down pit road. And, Caleb just finally started to get back into the top 10 when the pit stop started to occur, but Caleb must have had some sort of issue on that pit stop because you saw he was in the top 5, top 3 most of the race, but found himself with a significant loss of track position there on that first stop.
Yeah, so fortunately for the guys that just pitted, with Ethan coming around there to take next start of lap under green flag conditions, they're unfortunately going to lose a lap, but they should be able to gain that when he does come back in, but they're going to be right at the tail. So for the guys that just pitted, they're kind of going to have to try to keep a hustle if they want to maintain lead lap status here at the end of this race.
Absolutely. And I know it's not like this is the road course, but given the breaks, quote unquote, that Ethan Stanley has been getting when it comes to pitting and cautions, he might want to pit ASAP, considering he's about caught a caution at the worst time almost seemingly every race that I've been broadcasting with him in as of late, at least.
He's staying out another lap, so his fuel numbers must be a little bit better than the rest. So that rolling off early and getting on the throttle a lot lighter mid the exit is helping that situation as well. I still don't think he's going to have enough fuel to make it to the end, so he definitely has to make another stop. just based on everyone else making stops. So the fuel numbers definitely aren't going to make it to the end. So we will see him come in one more time, and we'll see where everyone else ends up at that point.
Absolutely.
So as
you'd be surprised at. Go on, Jesse.
So as it stands right now, it kind of looks like. Am I reading this right? I believe Gavin Higgins is the last one on lead lap. I might be wrong. Yes, so Gavin Higgins is the last one on lead lap.
Yep, you are correct.
And Ethan Stanley is pretty close to him, so yeah, it's the best thing Gavin can hope for at this point is Ethan comes in here in the next few laps and he can kind of build out a gap of about 40 seconds or so and kind of maintain that towards the end of the race.
But other than that, everything's going to be very easy and straightforward.
So as we see Chad, who actually pitted here, he worked his way up in the top 8 now. So he's definitely on a move, trying to get back up towards the front. So he's still about 48 seconds behind. So we'll see where he ends up after the pit stop when Ethan Stanley comes in. But he should be, if I'm playing my numbers right, he should be within about 5 seconds of the lead.
Yeah, that strategy seems to be working pretty well for Chad right now. Looks like Dylan Mathieu and the late Northgard are pretty close to each other on track. He got, looks like the one that Jesse Rasimas not that far behind either.
Yeah, so Jaden's actually a lap down, where Leighton is still on the lead lap. So Jada came in with a goal to try to survive and finish in the top 20s. He's a position shy of that right now. So I'm hoping that he kind of gets where he wants to be. He's kind of struggles a lot of road courses, so he's just trying to maintain where he is in the point standings and get a semi-decent run out of the day.
Yeah, that's a thing for a lot of stock car guys is that road course weeks are just let me get through it without killing the car. I don't know where I finish.
Winding down to get about 10 to go here shortly, so I'm kind of wondering if he's actually going to make a stop or not. It almost seems like he might not, but I mean, it seemed like everyone else was, so I don't know if the fuel numbers are there or if they are. I mean, it's all a guessing game at this point.
Yeah, it is so much easier if us broadcasters could understand where everyone's fuel situation is at any given time. But what can you do, I suppose? Now that gap for the race lead is full 10 seconds over Tyler Fody. Chad on the first row tires. He is about 10 seconds back to the next vehicle of a late Northgard, sitting in P7. Looks like Avir and Northgard continue to battle for the last spot in the top 5.
Yeah, Norgard's definitely shrunk this gap down for over the last couple laps, so Looks like this might be a decent battle here for the last 10 laps as well.
Yeah, you saw he had to make up some significant ground there. Continue to run nose to tail. While Nico Garcia is not that far away from breaking into the top 10 this season.
What I think we're going to do here is we're probably going to take one more break here, and we'll come back for the finish of this race. But I want to give a shout out to Blue Egg Marketing. They've been a premier partner with us for quite some time, so definitely big thanks to them. And without them, we probably wouldn't be where we are now. But rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand towards victory lane. Don't spin your wheels, accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big. So we'll take an ad break here, and then we'll be back for the remainder of this race.
3 years of sellout crowds, 3 years of edge-of-your-seat action, 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR, and now NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs are coming Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Just when you thought the racing couldn't get any more intense, now every single lap matters. One wrong move could be the difference between elimination and being crowned the king. The Enjoy Illinois 300, the Confluence Music Festival, the NASCAR Cup Series Playoffs, and for the first time in 15 years, the NASCAR Xfinity Series on Saturday, September 6th. Don't be on the outside looking in. See history being made in your own backyard. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
Alrighty, and we are back at the Rose City. 8 laps to go here at Portland. Ethan Stanley continues to put a smackdown on the field. He is up almost 13 seconds over second place Tyler Fode. Tommy Ryan holds on to the last spot in third. Ty McIntosh and Leighton Norgard getting by the 57 to Dylan DeVere to crack the top 5. Chad Frankenfield, William White, Austin Nabnett, and Cale Pocock round out your top 20 runners.
Yeah, it's a good run for Cale as well. Oh, as I say that.
Whoa! That commentator's curse is in overdrive. You couldn't even get the sentence out before something happened.
Let's just take a look here, see what happened.
Been there.
I think he kind of just might have got on the binders a little too late here. Oh, a little early downshift kind of shifted the weight there and put a lot of weight on that right side and just set him off the grass. It's a very nice recovery though. So he did lose one spot, but still a good run for Cale.
Absolutely, a heck of a save, because that could have and frankly should have been a lot worse. But he was able to wrestle enough roll back from that truck to at least keep it out of the guardrail and get it back on the black stuff. Looks like our race leaders once again coming up on lap traffic. Like the 20 of Higgins, and I think the 59 of Humer.
I'm really wondering if these guys can make it all the way.
I didn't think that'd be possible. I mean, you have more testing in this car and track combination than I do, so I don't know if I'm able to speak to it, but yeah, it didn't seem like it would be even a remote possibility. But yeah, I might be significantly wrong about that.
Yeah, so let's jump back. So we know Chad definitely pitted. See if I could pull up the pit strategy box here. I can't make sense of that other than Chad and William both pitted. So,
Yep.
yeah, I mean the top five
And many others
definitely
didn't.
out. Yeah, top five are out. Austin and Abnett actually stayed out as well so far. So it looks like Chad and William, by taking that pit stop, seemed like they jumped Austin and Abnett, but I don't see any significant
What
gains towards
cost?
the other ones. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big of a shock, but we see Stanley continuing to be right behind this lap duo of McHumor and Higgins. Maybe someday Gavin Higgins will find a sponsor. So we got 5 laps to go from Portland.
So Gavin noticed.
Almost 15 seconds.
Yeah, Gavin noticed he had a run there and kind of gave him the room to get by. So very good on him. Let's see if Caleb does the same thing,
Yeah.
especially being teammates. So you would think you would kind of just get Adel out of the way there when he gets close to him and just gives him the track room to move on.
Yeah, a whole lot of spread out racing right now. Everyone just trying to manage and bring these things home.
Ethan's still out. Jaden kind of bounced off the front stretch wall there a little bit. Probably looking at his mirror, trying to see how close Stanley is, just give him the room when he gets there, but trying to see if there's any close battles. Looks like Chad and William are going to be our closest one right now.
Yeah, so far Chad trying to. Oh, it's a recovery drive because he didn't really do anything wrong for the most part. His incident with Cody notwithstanding. Yeah, he's making some good speed right now, but it's going to take practically a miracle to catch Leighton Norgard with this strategy. This strategy might be the race-winning strategy. Who'd have thought? So annoying when the fast guy can also pull off the field strat win too.
Yeah, I mean, Williams running a lot faster lap times than Chad is right now, so I'm sure some lap trucks had a little bit to play there, but it seems like overall Williams just a hair faster than Chad is, so I wonder if he'll catch him before the end of the race.
Yeah, who knows? We are down to 3 laps to go. Ethan Stanley continues to cruise. Go through the sweeper section, leading onto this back straightaway.
It's like a lap vehicle Javier giving way, letting him get by clean.
Yep, that is what you love to see as a fan, a competitor, and the person in that battle is the other lap down party doing the sensible thing. Ethan Stanley brings the round to 2 laps to go from Portland. Frankenfield and White continue to make battle for that 6th spot. This is very close between the two.
Oh, Tommy Ryan's in. So.
Interesting.
It must have been a saving thing that they were able to do that.
And maybe Tommy wasn't able to save enough, but now that raises question marks. Who else is going to be in the same boat? Is anyone else going to be good to go?
So that would kind of explain on the restart there when Ethan Stanley was kind of just hanging back in P4 there for a couple of laps. Maybe he was just doing a 100% fuel strategy there.
Yeah, that is a good point that we did not consider. Meanwhile, these two are battling hard for P6. As Ethan Stanley takes the white flag, we have 1 lap to go from Portland International Raceway. Stanley trying to put Caleb Pocock down a lap. 1 for the road. He makes his way through the sweeper section. Meanwhile, now it looks like Norgard and Ryan are starting to get close to each other. Did other people pit with Ryan?
I don't believe so. So it was top 5 in Austin and Abnett who seemed like they were on that same fuel strategy. Austin and Abnett is still out in track. So it looks like Tommy Ryan was the only one.
Interesting. Well, here it is off of the final corner. Another Ethan Stanley road course performance for the ages. Ethan Stanley will win at Portland. Another unbelievable drive from the 91. 17 seconds in the distance from Tyler Fody. Oh, man. Ethan Stanley kicking tail once again. It looks like Ty McIntosh might be bringing home the P3. What a run for Ty.
Yeah, so Ty's gonna
off of the final corner.
Ty's definitely gonna get the P3, and kind of curious. Yeah, William did not get there. He's right on his bumper, but just not enough time to get him for that P6 position.
Yeah, William Gates had all he can handle, but ultimately Chad Frankenfield will bring it home. P6.
So I'm just looking at the results here. Tommy Ryan actually pitted and still only lost 2 spots. So that's pretty interesting. So there was that much of a gap between the rest of the field.
Yeah, and that's why I asked if anyone else pitted with them, because I'm like, those gaps are awfully close.
Yeah, so what we'll do here is we'll take another quick break, and we'll come back and interview our top 3 positions. Stay tuned.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Alrighty, and we are back, and go ahead and take a look at our final results before we talk to our top three. Your race winner, of course, is Ethan Stanley by one heck of a margin over his teammate in the series, at least. Tyler Fody, Ty McIntosh bringing home a incredible P3. Blake Norgard and Tommy Ryan round out the top five. Chad Frankenfield, William White, Austin and Navnit, Nico Garcia, and Seth Rawls rounding out the top 10. Shane Tyrion going from the last row of the grid to just barely missing out on the top 10. A great recovery drive by the 39. Cale Pocock, Caleb McHumor, Gavin Higgins, and Cody McCorkle, the top 15. JP Phillips, Jeff Ryan, and Joe Francis round out the first page. And the distant door 19th, Jesse Rasimas round out the top 20. Sam Boutwell, Mitch Javier, Dylan Javier. Up happened to Dylan there towards the end. He was up towards the front for most of the race. That is unfortunate. And then Dave Carpenter, Justin Vandermarl, Rob Mooney, Gerald Campbell, Harrison Talon, and Dave Huckleberry and Kurt Gibson, who did not turn laps. Alrighty, now it's time to talk to our top three. First up, Ty McIntosh. Ty, James in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, sir, buddy.
Well, how about that? You just bought the track a couple hours ago, and you're putting it in the P3, your first podium, honestly, in a minute. How do you feel there, driver?
I mean, honestly, I was fine with the top five. I feel like I finished top five quite a bit this season, and I figured it was kind of on par there. And Chad pitted. I knew he had to pit because there's no way he could have made it. I didn't think we could make it, and then William pitted, which was surprising to me because he was. I felt more conservative than me, and I was able to make it. So I was cool with fourth, and then Tommy had to pit there with 3 to go. So that was pretty interesting. But I'm ecstatic, man. These road courses have gotten a lot better for me thanks to my good buddy Danny G. So we're getting more consistent, and we're having a hell of a season so far. So feels good.
Yeah, you're having an incredible run, and it's great to see. Considering we saw you have a stretch of races where anything that could go wrong did for you, but now things are starting to turn around, and you're starting to get some good results representative of your pace and your skill.
Yeah, I thought for a second there, like I don't know what was going on, but it was hard not to be in my head about it. But I think now that I'm kind of not having bad luck happen to me and it's all in my hands, I'm able to put myself where I need to be. So feels good.
Yeah, and take us through just trying to understand and get acclimated to this track. Obviously, it's being used heavily on the IndyCar side, but haven't seen a whole lot of use for it here in the NASCAR side up until recently, of course, with the real life being there last week. So, how was it trying to learn this track?
Honestly, like the first couple corners weren't too bad. The weird left-hander after the triple right section was the most difficult for me, I think. I think the most fun was absolutely the long back straightaway curve to the right, and then you kind of have to have all the faith in the world that you're going to make the corner and crank it in there after you throw it in third. So definitely more of a technical track, and I think that might have been what helped me there. It's not really just as much as how you can get the car like unsettled to make the corners. It's a lot more technical, which definitely played to my favor.
Yeah, well, you did a great job managing it, and getting the run together. So, once again, heck of a job for you tonight. Any sponsors, plugs, and shout outs you like to give?
Oh yeah, everybody at 3 Wide TV. Carlos has been a huge part of my sim racing career so far, so it's always good to give him a good run. Binks Designs. There was an announcement made during the race that I can't confirm yet, so I won't say anything about it. Neil, love you. Darianne, appreciate you hopping on. Everybody at the South Shore, Sam fought through it. He finished, I think, just outside the top 20, but he had a good run for him, and Moon's had some good stuff. You guys have put on the show. I know you're literally in the car right now, which is the dedication is crazy. I admire it. Just everybody at Elite, man. Everybody watching at home. I know my dad might be watching. I know my mom's not, but Dad, love you if you're here.
Alrighty, well, we appreciate you, Ty, and hopefully we're talking to you again next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Your P3 man, Ty McIntosh, and time to talk to our runner-up, Tyler Bodie. Tyler, James in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Alrighty, well, another road course, another great run for you. First of all, no, I gotta ask. You chatted me a little bit of contact. It didn't seem like it was anything too untoward, but take us through what happened.
Yeah, it's just racing with Chad. He stays out and probably has like 6th place speed and it's holding us all up. So I was trying to save fuel with Stanley, but Stanley started getting closer and closer. So I was starting to push it a little bit with Chad, trying to get him to, realize we're trying to go now. And he was blocking for a couple corners, and I tried that move I think a lap before, and it wasn't there. And then just timed it better the next lap, and got about a half car inside, and he was squeezing me tight, and I was all the way on the curb, and we touched a little bit, but straightened him out, and that was pretty much it. So yeah, he probably could have just let us both go and saved us all time, but I get it. None of us are out here for points except Stanley, so we're just racing up there, so it's all good.
Yeah, where's the fun in that? But yeah, take us through your race. It was another good run for you out there.
Yeah, it was good. Not good enough though when you got the Stanley guy out here. So it was fun overall. We were going back and forth in practice, Stanley and I being in the Discord, and then qualifying, and it just seemed like pretty much overall throughout the whole night he had about 3/10 on me. And I don't know hindsight, because we were debating on, do we save the gas or not. And he was gonna just save it the whole way. I don't know hindsight if I should have tried to do a pit stop and just go flat out the whole time, if that would have changed anything. But in the end there, just ended up taking the second and just kind of saving fuel to the end with him.
So that was one thing I was actually pretty curious about. Sorry if I cut you off, James, but how close exactly were you guys on fuel?
So I ran out hitting the line to finish. Stanley, I think, had about another half gallon or so to do some burnouts. But it was something that you kind of had to start doing basically when the run started, even under caution for that stage, kind of saving, just because of how close it was going to be. And I don't know what the delta difference would have been had I just gone flat out, pit halfway through it, gone flat out again. Whether that would have changed anything, but I was right on the line, pretty much running out.
Gotcha, because I kind of thought you guys didn't have enough, but at the same time, I didn't run any fuel numbers before the race actually started, so I was kind of taking a guess. It seemed like Ethan kind of backed off there on that stage restart and kind of just hung out in 4th place for a couple of laps before he started making a move forward. So later on in the run, that's when we kind of realized that's probably when he was saving a majority of his fuel.
Yeah, it's just something, I don't know, hindsight, if I could have done anything different, but it was close for sure with when the stage was. Had the stage been maybe lap 10 instead of 12, I don't think we would have had as many people doing it.
Alrighty, well, once again, another fantastic performance from you, Tyler. Any sponsors, plugs, and shout outs you'd like to give?
Yeah, well, shout out to Stan for getting another win for the team, and shout out to the rest of the guys too. Dylan and Caleb both had really good speed, and Dylan ended up losing it the last few laps, and Caleb missed his box on the stage pit, so that was really unfortunate. But Austin was able to get a top 10 there. I think he ended up 8th, limping some damage. So overall, everyone had the speed, just got to execute a little better, but still fun to come out here and run with these guys on the occasional truck night. But yeah, shout out to them and John Cutlip with JD Designs for painting all of our trucks. And then shout out to you guys for working the cameras and doing the broadcast.
Alrighty, well, we appreciate you, Tyler, and hopefully we're talking to you again next week.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, there's our runner-up, Tyler Fody, and time to talk to, once again, on the road course, our race winner, Ethan Stanley. Ethan, James in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Alrighty, well, another road course, another win. You out there taking care of business. Take us through your night tonight.
Yeah. First stage was pretty uneventful. Just kind of spread out. Just kind of figuring out the truck. I was really testing if I could make that long run work at the end, and just barely hit the number. So I decided to go for it on the second stint. And yeah, I think I was the first one to catch on to it. So I started saving before everyone else, and was able to really keep the pace up throughout.
Yeah, things did get a little hairy for you though. You had to deal with a couple cars staying out and making things a little bit difficult for you. How was it trying to navigate the traffic?
It's pretty tough to pass around here. Obviously, I went off trying to pass Chad. You get off the main racing line. There's so many marbles around the track that you just put a wrong tire and you just end up in the grass. Luckily, it wasn't like the last turn or anything, so no damage. I was able to just kind of file back in and work my way back up, and then of course, let Fody and Chad figure it out.
Yeah, it was definitely kind of hairy watching you having to get that 91 truck back on the track. But yeah, fantastic job fuel saving. I know you already talked about it briefly, but how does it feel when you kind of discover that fuel save strat and you're like, oh, I think I might have stumbled on something here?
Well, yeah, I ran the Portland race here in the IndyCar series maybe 3 weeks ago. So I had a lot of practice when it came to fuel saving on the long runs here. So just kind of applied that, lifting a couple 100 meters early, and then you could brake a little bit deeper too, and get a little bit deeper into the corner when you do that. So you can keep the pace relatively up while saving a lot of fuel around here. It's just the way the track is.
Yeah, we noticed you lift and coast pretty early on in the race, and obviously it helped you with the fuel save, but I'm sure it also really helped with your tire wear too.
Yeah, it really saves the front tires. 'Cause, most of the run you're trying to manage the rears, just barely getting on the throttle out of the corners. But yeah, when you lift early, it kind of settles the truck, and you use up the front tires a lot less, and you're able to get a better run through the middle of the corner. It's more of a sports car racing style, but you can make it work in these.
Alrighty, well, once again, another dominant performance from you on the road courses. Any sponsors, plugs, and shout outs you like to give?
Yeah, of course. Big shout out to Blue Egg Marketing, a longtime sponsor with me and the team. Big shout out to Lake Norman Motorsports. Always a great group of guys. Good run for the team tonight, 1-2. And then big shout out to you guys up in the booth. Always have watching these back. Oh, of course, big shout out to John painting these paints I run throughout the weeks. And just big shout out to all the admins and Chad, of course, run the league.
All right. Well, we appreciate you, Ethan, and hopefully we're talking to you again next week.
Yep. See you around, guys.
All right. Once again, Ethan Stanley brings home another road course win. Another great race from this Trek series here at Portland. What are your closing thoughts on tonight's race, Jesse?
Well, it kind of went as I expected. Definitely seeing a lot of the guys getting loose on the right-handers, kind of what I anticipated just from the couple laps that I did run in practice. But overall, it was a fairly standard road course race. Everyone got kind of spread out. We've seen a couple of passes, kind of like mid-race, that were very clean and expected. A couple of guys going off track, and I think we only seen one major incident with Justin Vanderbilt, unfortunately. But overall, it was a pretty decent race.
Absolutely. They definitely put on a show, and another good one. And this caps off a incredible weekend for the elite racing leagues with our appearance at the Sim Gaming Expo. Great race tonight. One heck of a weekend, one heck of a tiring weekend. So I think it's about time we head on out. And with that, for my broadcast partner, Jesse Rasimas, I'm James Watson, and it's time we bid you adieu. See you next time, everyone.